Pasensya na po sa medyo na-delay lang po yung ating pong pagsisimula ng ating pong kapihan sa Bangsamoro. So, once again, it's been a while. Welcome back again to our weekly kapihan sa Bangsamoro. So, hindi na po natin patatagalin. Since nandito na po yung ating pong resource person, the spokesperson of the Bangsamoro government, Attorney Naguib Sinarimbo. Sir, please give us little updates and accomplishments or recent activities of the Bangsamoro government before we accept questions from our friends from the media.
Wala na bang invocation?
Sorry, I forgot. Kaya nga. So before pala, may I request Mohamedin Menang to lead a dua.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال ربكم ادعوني استجب لكم امين يا رب العالمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين اياك نعبد واياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين انعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم الضالين امين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Once again, Sir Attorney Naguib Sinarimbo.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Una ay happy birthday ba? Happy New Year sa inyo, ha? Maski na ilang days na tayo ng New Year. Reckoning dun sa Gregorian calendar. I'm sure karamihan sa inyo ay nakapagbakasyon, ha? Liban sa amin na walang bakasyon. But just the same, I am happy to see you all for 2020. Humihingi na kami ng paumanhin. Una, na-late ako sa ngayon dahil medyo mahaba yung meeting kay Chief Minister on several issues. But I'm also glad to see most of you joining us again for the regular na kapihan. I'm sure ito ay karamihan sa atin hinahanap-hanap natin. So, we continue to assure you that this one will continue as the venue for information exchange between the regional government and the members of the media. The other more important part of this weekly activity is really to allow us to get a sense of what are the issues from our communities, because yes, we have offices and officers who regularly engages with the community, but we still wanted to hear also opinions, suggestions, recommendations, even complaints coming from our constituents, which are normally channeled through the media. So we will continue to provide this venue as a means of the regional government to hear the concerns coming from our citizens. The other part of this forum, of course, is, as you will know, is a platform for us to inform our constituents of what are the programs being undertaken by the regional government, what services are being proposed to be given to our constituents, and also what are the policies being enacted in the regional government, and that the most efficient way of sending that information to our people is through the media. So we will continue to value that, and we're happy that you also value this forum. On to the activities of the regional government. We just had our 31st and the first cabinet meeting yesterday, presided by the Chief Minister. In that cabinet meeting, the Chief Minister outlined some of the notable accomplishment of the regional government for last year, and then try to outline also what are the priorities for this year. There is also a recognition on the part of the Chief Minister and his team uh, that we continue to assess the performance of the different offices and the ministries in the hope that we can better the delivery of services to our people. If that calls for changes in some of the offices, the Chief Minister has indicated that he's willing to do that as a regular um, undertaking to improve service delivery in the different ministries. We we are anticipating that the new appointments for senior officials of the region will be issued today, meaning transmitted to the different ministries. The reason for that is the appointments of the key officials of the region, more specifically the ministers, were issued to a position and an item under the old ARMM structure. And because the budget has been approved and the NOSCA issued by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Management, there would be a new item number for the appropriate positions, including the position of the ministers. For that reason, a new appointment, of course, is required para ma-fill up yung items na yon. Kasi hindi na natin, diniscontinue na natin yung items or NOSCA that was given by the DBM for positions of regional secretaries in the old or the defunct ARMM. So a new item number has been given by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Management. Those items will now be filled up through an appointment issued by the Chief Minister for the ministers. So we should expect the transmission of the appointments within today from the office of the Chief Minister to the different ministries. We are also currently working out the details of the operationalization of the black grant system with the Department of Budget and Management. Some of the technical issues are now being discussed by our team coming from the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Management and the Office of the Chief Minister with the Department of Budget and Management and the Department of Finance, as well as the National Treasury Office of the national government. As soon as it is firmed up, then we will begin the process of downloading the fund and distributing the funds to the appropriate ministries on the basis of their approved budget for 2020. The cabinet also agreed yesterday to a new schedule for holding the cabinet meetings for 2020, and that is we will hold the cabinet meetings only on the first and second Mondays of every month. This is to allow the office of the Chief Minister to look at the proposed agenda, study it carefully, meaning the necessary policy studies should be conducted before the agenda are actually tabled. Thereafter, when a resolution is made by the cabinet, there would be a system of tracking the implementation of the decisions made by the cabinet before the next scheduled cabinet is actually done. So that if there are issues to be resolved arising out of the implementation of the policies or decisions made by the cabinet, it can still be taken up in the next cabinet meeting. The challenge of doing the cabinet meeting on a weekly basis is the schedule is too near each other, that there is almost no time to look at policy studies on some of the major issues that would have to be decided by the cabinet. So what happens actually is that a lot of issues are being brought which are really peripheral to the central issue being discussed at the level of the cabinet. So there are changes to the schedule of the cabinet meeting. The other one that is important to note is that on the jobs portal, we already have, I think, around 160,000 applications for most of the over 1,000 positions published in the jobs portal. There are also schedules for holding the examination, which is a requirement in the appointment process, before one goes into the next process, which is the interview, and thereafter, subsequently, an appointment being issued by the appointing authority. For instance, last weekend, the Ministry of Social Services and Development conducted the examination for positions published by their ministry in 3 places, one in Cotabato, another one in Iligan, and another one in Zamboanga City. This is for the 63 positions published by the MSSD. Um, During the cabinet meeting, we have agreed to pursue the examination as a means of allowing the ministries and the offices to determine the appropriateness of the competencies of the prospective applicants. So we will continue to pursue that. As soon as the publication period expired, then we will proceed immediately into the actions of the personnel selection boards of the ministries, including that of the office of the chief minister. But even as we are busy with the appointment process, there are also programs that will continue to be implemented by the different ministries. We just need to time the implementation of the program in a manner that allows us to take in some personnel that can carry the programs being implemented. The other option that has been resorted to is that while we are processing the appointments, the Office of the Chief Minister issued a memorandum circular allowing the ministries to hire some personnel on a contract basis so as to ensure that service delivery will not be seriously hampered and disrupted in the period of the transition. So some of the ministries have already proposed positions that they wish to populate with personnel through a contract of service. There are still other ministries that are still looking at weighing the options available for them, whether they need to contract personnel or they can just go immediately into the hiring process, which would still allow them to time the implementation of program in a manner where personnel are absorbed and then programs are being implemented. So for the first quarter, we should expect a lot of personnel action being undertaken by the different ministries before we can actually go into the implementation of major programs. But many of the ministries that still have pending programs for implementation for this quarter, they will continue to implement that. So, for instance, Ministry of Public Works, they have awarded contracts for 2019 budget towards the end of last year. They are also processing, and I think they processed the payment of accounts payable which were previously incurred after validation of the actual accomplishment of either contractors or those local government units which were given the project through a memorandum of agreement signed by the previous ARMM government. So there is already movement as far as transfer and payment to appropriate contractors and parties to the memorandum of agreement signed between the former ARMM and some of the local government units. So we will continue to pursue that. In the ministry, we are now consolidating the work and financial plan of the proposed project of the SGLG winners and CFLGA winners last year. These local government units have been awarded by the regional government additional funding as a reward and acknowledgement of their performance in the SGLG. So we've granted them 2.5 million for them to implement the projects that they propose. The funding for that is available and that it can immediately be transferred to the LGUs as soon as they comply with the work and financial plan that's required by the ministry. So these things will continue to be delivered. We will be very honest with you that yes, there are disruptions in some of the services. Our hope is that these are not major disruptions in the service delivery, and that as soon as we're able to hire people, we can immediately address some of the pressing concerns that some sectors in our society are actually experiencing as a result of the phasing out and the phasing in of the new bureaucracy into the region. So sana po maintindihan ng mga kababayan natin yon. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga ulit.
Thank you very much, sir. Before we proceed, house rules lang po. Each entity will be given one question and a follow-up question. Please introduce yourselves and your media outfit or where you're from before asking the question, all right? So, who would like to ask first? Okay, Ma'am Chinchin Faunilian Hautay of DXMS.
Good morning po, Minister. Ang MILG lang ba yung nakapag-submit ng NOSCA, Notice of Organization Staff and Compensation Action, or other ministry nakapag-submit sila? Kasi ang tanong ng mga natin, nung lalong-lalo na yung mga professionals, pwede ba daw magpirma? Although, with all due respect, merong memorandum ang Office of Chief Minister. Pwede daw pong bang magpirma yung mga considered na ng mga although may notice of extension sila, pero considered na separate na sila. So pwede ba daw magpirma 'yon, lalong-lalo na sa mga papers, mga documents, yung considered na contract of service instead na dapat na sila, kumbaga pa yung regular na sila employee ng BARM?
Ganito po ang situation natin. Yung unang inisyo na memorandum order ng Office of the Chief Minister is the directive to the ministries to identify yung mga accountable officers nila and critical officers that would be required to continue the service delivery of each of the ministry. Bakit tayo nag-resort doon? Dahil, halimbawa, pinablish natin yung positions, you need 10 days for that to be effective. But other than the 10 days, kailangan mo pa rin ng 5 days na additional period within which the PSB will deliberate the appointments. That's the only time you can issue an appointment. In the meantime, from January 2 all the way up to today, there will be necessary transactions in the offices. Halimbawa, kung na-receive natin yung separation pay nung mga empleyado na nag-separate, kailangan natin pirmahan yung cheque para makuha nila yung separation pay. So kung hindi na tayo nagtira ng accountant, cashier, admin officer, at saka yung approving officer, normally the ministers, kung wala na yun sa opisina, maski na yung transaction na yun, hindi natin magagawa. So para magawa natin yon, in-extend natin yung period ng employment nila. Instead of December 31, 2019, binigyan sila ng extension of maximum up to March this year. So that in between, pwede silang pumirma. In reality, ang ibig sabihin lang noon ay in-amend natin yung transition plan natin. Na instead na mag-end yung lahat ng empleyado by December 31, ang amendment natin doon sa transition plan ay for this specific accountable officers, they will continue to serve up to March, maximum. Paid sila. At wala tayong appointment na ini-issue na bago. Kasi yung appointment nila previously ay valid pa rin yun because they occupy the same plantilla. But our agreement with DBM ay i-clear lang sa kanila, i-transmit sa kanila para mabayaran yung mga empleyado. Pag nabayaran ng DBM yung mga empleyado natin for that period, dahil wala nang appropriation sa national, ang gagawin na lang natin, babayaran natin, i-reimburse natin si DBM out of the black grant of the Bangsamoro government. Kaya valid yung pirma nila because permanent pa rin sila na empleyado. Because the same item ay na-move up to March. So, valid pa rin yun. Now, yung mga iba naman na nag-end na yung services nila by December 31, 2019, pero kakailanganin natin sila sa opisina dahil sa iba pang mga importanteng trabaho. Halimbawa, yung mga nasa frontline services, kagaya sa amin, may mga requests for authority to travel ng mga local government officials. Yung processing ng authority to travel na yon ay nakalad sa isang division namin, sa technical. Pero kung wala na kaming tao doon sa division na yon that processes the authority to travel, obviously, hindi makaka-travel yung mga mayors na importante nilang mag-travel. So, hindi siya accountable, but importante siya doon sa continuity ng service. But he can prepare the document maski na contractual lang siya. So, hindi naman kailangan na yung appointment niya ay permanent. Kasi hindi pa tayo pwedeng mag-appoint. So, yun, pwede natin yung issuean ng contract of service. Ino-authorize ho ng Office of the Chief Minister yon. So, pwedeng magawa yon. But ang limitation natin ay based doon sa memorandum circular, hindi lalagpas ng 20% ng total na number ng items na binigay sa atin, approved under the 2020 budget. Kasi kung lumagpas doon, ibig sabihin nun ay medyo ano na yon, hindi na masyado dinetermine kung kailangan ba siya or hindi. Ibig sabihin yun, naglagay lang ng mga tao na kung sino-sino, hindi naman na-justify yung necessity for doing that. Lahat ng ministries at offices ay meron na silang approved na NOSCA. Ibig sabihin yung positions na yon are items, may corresponding number na pinapublish natin sa civil service at ina-out natin sa portal. Yun yung ina-applyan ng mga tao natin. So lahat ho meron na. Meron lang mga ibang ministries na hindi pa nagpa-publish nung NOSCA nila or yung positions na vacant sa opisina nila. Meron pa silang mga process na inaayos. But karamihan ho ng mga ministries ay nag-publish na. Madami na hong nakapublish yung mga plantilla positions nila na open for application.
Last two questions lang po, Minister, no? Pasensya na sa side. Una, are we expecting cabinet revamp? Then ikalawa, yung sa Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism, kumusta na po yun doon? During cabinet meeting, did they, nagbigay na ba sila ng statement about doon sa kanilang kalagayan doon sa kanilang opisina?
Ang cabinet meeting kahapon ay merong additional instruction si Chief Minister at ni-raise niya yung mga concerns na alam naman natin na, halimbawa, yung service delivery, the quality of service delivery of each of the ministries. So he wanted an improvement on that. He also wanted a more integrated approach to many of the programs being implemented by the ministries para magkaroon tayo ng impact. He also emphasized the need to ensure na yung mga qualified at magagaling na mga tao ang mapasok doon sa bureaucracy natin, which is why we've come out in the open na i-publish yung positions. Hindi lang nakadikit sa mga bulletin board ng mga ministries, kundi it's really out in the public and that everyone and anyone can actually apply. The reason for that is we wanted to attract the best na mga prospective employees na pumasok sa region. So he said he wanted that insured, and which is why he's very, very insistent na magkaroon ng examination yung mga pupunta. Merong separate na meeting si Executive Secretary doon sa mga ministries on the basis of a directive from the Chief Minister to do an assessment of the performance of each of the ministries. I am not privy to the meeting of the Executive Secretary with the individual ministers. Lalo na yung mga ministries na merong nire-raise yung public natin na concerns. Like for instance, MTIT, na merong issue doon sa internet connection, may issue sa electricity, may issue doon sa issuance ng business name, business registration, which is a requirement for businesses to get their business permit renewed by the local government units, which is in turn a requirement for these businesses to get authority from the BIR to print yung receipts. So, connect yun. So, kung hindi ka nakaregister ng business name, hindi ka makakakuha ng business permit from the LGU. Pag hindi ka nakakuha nun, hindi ka makakakuha ng resibo. Hindi ka makakapag-print nun kasi ino-authorize lang ng BIR yung ano na yun. Na-raise na itong mga concerns na to, even in the previous cabinets, but there are separate meetings being held by the Executive Secretary with the different ministries. I am not privy to the meetings, but I'm sure the Executive Secretary would be willing to share some of the informations pertaining to these meetings. Yung cabinet revamp na announce naman ni Chief Minister na in the cabinet, we all serve under the pleasure of the Chief Minister. Ang joke nga namin, if that pleasure turns into displeasure, your term has expired. Okay lang daw sabi ni ES na nag-expire yung term, wag lang daw yung tao ang nag-expire. Kasi mas mahirap daw yun. So alam naman, and the Chief Minister delivered that message yesterday, that none of us really holds a permanent position in the cabinet, and that we can be moved, we can be replaced, we can be shipped into another assignment. And sa amin naman, that's a fact. So, kasali yun sa trabaho namin, na anytime he can replace it.
Thank you very much, sir. Next question from Alimudin Kadatuan. Please use the microphone.
Yes, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. From radyo natin, 95.9. Sir, regarding doon sa mga decommission. Kasi sir, maraming nagtitext sa aming station kung kailan ba daw yung second batch, yung second yes, tapos yung sir, yung mga binibigay sa kanila yung mga halimbawa yung pabahay, meron na pa daw na kumbaga nagawa o may na-implement na ba doon sa mga pinangakong ibibigay sa kanila?
Ganito po. So ang current phase natin sa decommissioning ay yung commitment ng MILF na mag-decommission ng 30% ng combatants niya upon the ratification of the BANGSAMORO Organic Law. Ang equivalent ng 30% na yon ay 12,000 na combatants. Ang challenge ng independent decommissioning body ay yung bilis nung kaya nilang i-process yung 12,000. Hanggang sa ngayon, hindi pa natin nauubos yung 12,000 na yan na mga combatants. Hindi pa nila napoprocess lahat. So may mga request, for instance, for the Eastern Mindanao Front sa Baguingad na mahirap i-process noon. So ang request ng IDB ay dalhin sa Camp Darapanan yung processing. Same request we are receiving from the IDB to move the decommissioning from Camp Salman in Zamboanga to Darapanan. Ganun din yung doon sa mga islands. So, pinaprocess pa ito. Medyo mahabang proseso kasi may documentation rito eh. And then validation, and then an ID is issued, and then thereafter yung iba-ibang benefits na naka-outline. But ang very specific na nare-receive ngayon ay yung 100,000 na cash assistance coming from the national government. Ito ho yung nare-receive at na-receive na ng mga nag-undertake ng decommissioning. Yung ibang component, lalo na yung livelihood and socio-economic program for the combatants, inaantay pa natin yung delivery ng iba-ibang departments ng national government. Because this is a commitment from the national government. At yung mga opisina nila ang nagdi-deliver dito. Yung nagko-coordinate lang ay yung Office of the Presidential Advisor on the peace process, reconciliation and unity, yung OPAPRO. Sila ang may handle niyan. So, may mga iba na hindi pa nadi-deliver. But we will take this up in a formal meeting with the Joint Normalization Committee doon sa mga counterparts natin sa government dahil nagko-complain ngayon mga combatants na meron pa silang hindi nare-receive na mga package. But just the same, we will need to know exactly kung ano yung challenges being faced by the other departments of government on the delivery of the commitments made to the combatants before we actually say anything about it. So we wanted to be very sure because this is a fragile process. So we cannot go into speculation or accusation against our partner in the peace process. So we wanted to make sure that every step of the way ay coordinated yung pareho in the fulfillment of the commitment as well as challenges being faced in the delivery of the commitment. So we wanted to talk to them first on what are the real challenges being confronted with respect to the delivery of the other components of the assistance being provided the decommissioned combatants po.
All right. Sir John Unson.
Ang isang major challenge talaga nila na napag-usapan na namin in the previous meetings ay yung components ay nakadistribute sa iba-ibang departments ng national government which is not absolutely controlled by the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the peace process. So, halimbawa, yung agriculture component nung package na doon sa Department of Agriculture. Yung cash component is with the SWD na generate nila kaagad yon. But yung iba, halimbawa, scholarships is with TESDA. So yung mga iba-iba, hindi naman si Secretary Galvez ang directly may handle nun. So he will need to negotiate with the other department secretaries of the national government. So that's where we feel there is a challenge. So kasi iba sana kung nasa kanya lahat ng control, mas madali niyang immobilize yun. But that's not the way it has been budgeted in the General Appropriations Act of 2019. Yung pera nila for the normalization process nakalodge sa iba-ibang departments ng national government. So medyo may challenge siya doon sa pag-negotiate na implement yung ibang components.
Thank you very much, sir. Next question from the Suara Mindanao. From the gentleman back. All right, Abs Damahan. Go ahead.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. No? Narinig ko kahapon sa 13th cabinet meeting, no? Sinabi po ni Chief Minister, ang tagumpay ng BARM, quote and unquote, ay galing po sa sweat and blood po ng yung mga mujahidin. Nabanggit niya rin kahapon, sabi niya up to the last centavo ng pondo ng BARM ay dapat ma-utilize. So, ang katanungan ko ngayon, Chief Minister, Minister, no? Saan itong mga pondo sa 2020 nakalaan para sa proyekto po ng BARM?
Sir, baka ho napagkamalan nyo lang ako na punong ministro dahil sa akin suot. Yung Tagalog ko ng Chief Minister ay punong ministro, hindi ng iglesia. So, ako ay ministro lang. Ministro lamang po. Maski na ang suot ko ay pang punong ministro. Ganito, tama ho, doon sa opening statement ni Chief Minister doon sa 31st Cabinet Meeting, sinabi niya na yung institution ngayon na na-set up natin really was built upon the blood, sweat, and tears of the Mujahideen, of those who fought for the revolution. And that we will need, therefore, to value yung legacy na yon. And that for this government, we will need to ensure that every centavo actually is accounted for and that it goes to the services that we are supposed to deliver to our constituents. So, mabigat yung accountability requirement ni Chief Minister sa mga opisina na kailangan siguraduhin na yung ginagastos natin talaga pupunta doon sa mga kababayan ho natin na nangangailangan ng tulong. At in-outline nga niya, kasama doon sa mga programa, yung Project Tulong, Tabang, and then yung ambag for medical assistance doon sa mga kababayan natin na nangangailangan ng medical assistance na binibigay ng opisina niya. But doon sa pagsisiguro na yung programa ng mga ministries at opisina natin ay napupunta directly doon sa mga importanteng services na in-outline niyang priority, halimbawa education, health services, agriculture, including yung infrastructure, strategic infrastructure. So yun, sinisigurado natin na maaayos yung delivery doon sa mga areas na yon. Halimbawa, doon sa health services, merong push na i-improve yung health service delivery sa mga bayan at saka sa probinsya. Kahapon nga, na-take up yung concern ng Ministry of Health na kukonti yung mga medical personnel nila doon sa mga ospital sa baba. So, halimbawa, Datobla District Hospital, mga hospital sa Unayan District sa Lanao, hospital sa Tawi-Tawi, hospital sa Sulu. Ang kadahilanan nito ay nag-increase yung bed occupancy ng mga hospital na ito. Ibig sabihin, madaming taong pumapasok doon na na-hospital pero kukonti yung medical personnel. Ang challenge dito, kailangan natin ma-increase yung number of medical personnel doon. Pero sa ngayon, meron tayong allocation na 150 million for additional health workers na pwedeng ma-hire. But wala pa tayong legislation increasing the bed capacity. So halimbawa, Datobla, ang bed capacity ay 10 lang. Maski na, ang actual na pumapasok dyan ay 100, 500 na pasyente doon sa bed capacity. Kaya nakikita nyo, nandun na sa mga hallways, o saan yung mga pasyente. Ang kakailanganin natin doon ay legislation, ibig sabihin, ipasa ng parliament yung legislation na nag-i-increase ng bed capacity from 10 to say 200, 500, or 300 para ma-justify natin ngayon yung hiring ng additional medical personnel. So yun yung mga challenges na kailangan nating ayusin. So merong urge at merong recognition to really deliver, but we will need to comply with the processes outlined by law. So hindi pwedeng mag-appoint ka agad ngayon at mag-hire ng additional medical personnel nang wala pang legislation increasing the number of bed capacity for hospitals. Pero may pondo na ho yan sa 2020 na budget para dyan. Ang kakailanganin na lang natin, i-legislate ng Parliament yung increase in bed capacity so we can increase the number of items for medical personnel and that this will trigger the access to 150 million funding for improving health facilities in the region.
Or,
Bilang Chief Minister patungkol dyan,
Ang usapan kahapon ay prepare si Ministry of Health nung proposed legislation, sasubmit niya sa kabinete, and then the Chief Minister will transmit it to the Parliament para ma-legislate na ho kaagad yan.
alright, maraming salamat po. Next question from Arya Napatan of ABS-CBN.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Good noon pala. Sir, balikan ko lang yung sa job portal kasi 'di ba you have mentioned more than 160,000 na yung applications for almost 2,000 na job vacancies. Pero may mga ibang ministries pa na hindi pa nakakapag-post ng kanilang vacancies. So wala pa po bang timeline like for the third week kaya ng January mag-end na yung mga application para makapagsimula na sa like examination and then eventually interview para makapag-hire?
So may sinet na bawat ministry nag-set ng period up to when yung application. Halimbawa, yung Ministry of Social Services and Development, nag-end na yung kanila. So nagpa-exam na sila nung Sabado at Linggo. Yung sa amin, mag-end this January 14. So magpa-process na rin kami after nung 14. Yung mga ibang ministries, I'm sure, meron ding timeline within which. But after that, there are still items na pwedeng i-publish. Sa amin, pinipaste namin kasi hindi namin kaya. Halimbawa, dinumog kami ngayon ng 24,000 applications for the 251 items. Yun lang pagsagot doon sa mga aplikante kung magpo-proceed sila sa exam or hindi, based doon sa assessment ng qualification nila, it's taking us so much time. So kung dadagsa sa amin yung libo na yan na aplikante, interviewin namin isa-isa, baka abutin kami ng siyam-siyam. So may sala doon sa exam para yung mga papasalang, sila naman yung magpo-proceed sa interview. And then yung mga top 5 doon sa in-interview, yun yung isasubmit for appointment na. Mamimili na lang doon yung appointing authority. So, kailangan pa rin natin na may facing doon sa pag-publish ng items. Otherwise, mauubos yung oras natin doon sa appointment process. So, yun sa amin, inuna lang namin yung critical positions na kailangan nandiyan so that we can immediately appoint. Ano itong mga ito? Sa judgment namin, pinaka-importante, meron kang administrative support na magpo-process ng mga papel sa opisina, including yung pagpasweldo. Pero ang bulk noon ay doon sa operation side. Ito yung mga tao namin sa munisipyo. Kasi kailangan may presence na kami sa munisipyo dahil may mga programs yung LGUs na hindi magagawa pag wala kaming tao doon. So halimbawa, compliance doon sa directive ng DILG National on the audit of the Municipal Anti-Drugs Council. Pag wala kaming tao doon, di kami nag-report, masususpend si Mayor doon sa non-compliance na in reality ay trabaho namin. So, kailangan kong sagutin kaagad yun. Kaya ang critical positions for me are the positions in the municipalities and in the province. Yun ang facing namin. I'm sure sa mga ibang ministries ay meron din silang naka-identify na critical position sa kanila na gusto nilang i-fill up kaagad. After that, we will go into the next wave of publications of vacant positions. Yun po ang mangyayari sa mga ministries.
Nasa process na po of hiring new employees. Pero yung mga employees na kasama dun sa mga na-phase out, like yung batch 2, may update na po sa kanilang separation package. Separation pay, hindi pa daw po nakukuha.
Tama po yun. Inaantay pa natin yung transfer ng DBM nung separation pay doon sa mga phase 2. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga nag-separate nung November at saka yung mga nag-separate ng December 31. Ang hope natin ay within January dapat mabigay na yon. Kasi naintindihan naman natin, wala na hong employment yung mga kasama natin. At wala na silang sweldo on a monthly basis. So, darating yung bill mo sa ilaw, sa tubig, sa mobile phone mo, mga gastos ng anak nyo dahil balik na klase. So, naintindihan ho natin yon. At ang in-urge nga natin ng DBM, i-transfer na kagad kung na-compute na yan. So, we can already issue the checks corresponding to the separation pay ng mga empleyado natin. Ang pakiusap natin sa DBM ay bilisan din ho nila.
Ano lang, sir, can you confirm the information of resignation ni Commander Bravo as member of the parliament? May effect ba to or what po?
I think meron lang rhetorics doon sa speech ni Commander Bravo o si Makapaar. Wala namang intention na mag-resign. Wala ding iniwanan na resignation letter dito sa Office of the Chief Minister. Kaya ho, nung kinlarify namin doon sa mga staff niya, sinabi naman nila na walang resignation letter si Commander Bravo at wala siyang intention na mag-resign.
Thank you very much. Next question from, from Suara Mindanao, followed by Alpa Rudso of Voice FM, and followed by Sam Sali of DXMS.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Ang tanong ko, sir, tungkol dito sa ground issues, lalo na doon sa 65 barangay ng North Cotabato, na kung saan hanggang ngayon, mula nang napasok sila sa BARM, hanggang ngayon, hinihintay pa nila yung mga salary nila hanggang ngayon. 65 barangays. 63 barangay. 63 barangay. Yeah. Yan ang mga issue ngayon.
Sige, sir. Ganito, wala naman pong epekto yung allowance ng mga LGUs. Kasi yung internal revenue allocation nila, diretso pa rin sa kanila yon. So, account pa rin ho ng barangay yon, yung mga ira nila where the allowances are drawn. Pero may mga, alam natin, na challenges na na-encounter na yung 63 barangays in North Cotabato. Primary dito, halimbawa, issue nung sino ba ang pipirma sa travel authority ni Kapitan pag umalis siya sa kanyang barangay outside of the jurisdiction ng munisipyo. Kasi yung regular na process niyan, si mayor ang pumipirma niyan. Sino ba ang mag-a-approve nung appropriations ordinance ni barangay na hindi na siya parte ng munisipyo? Kasi under the regular course, pag na-approve yung appropriations ni barangay sa level ng barangay council, aakyat yan doon sa municipal council at i-approve nila yon. So sa ngayon ay wala na, hindi na sila kasali doon. Ito yung mga issues na kasama doon sa madami pang issues na na-encounter ng mga barangay natin na nag-join sa atin. Ito yung 63 barangays in North Cotabato. Napag-usapan namin in the sideline of the cabinet meeting ni Chief Minister yung issue ng mga barangays na to. At ang last na action rito ay yung draft executive order na pinagawa sa amin ni Chief Minister para sa constitution ng Special Geographic Area for the 63 barangays in North Cotabato. Na-transmit na sa kanila yon. Ang naging nakadelay lang nung action na yon ay towards December na tayo, and then there was a request from the municipal government of Pikit, specifically the mayor of Pikit, requesting na yung municipal hall nila sa ngayon sa Port Pikit na nasakop nung barangay na nag-join sa 63 ay magamit muna nila. So ang initial na usapan nila is to include a provision in the draft executive order to address the concern of the municipality of Pikit. Kahapon, ang advice ko kay Chief Minister is to proceed with the executive order on the constitution of the Special Geographic Area for North Cotabato. I-address na lang natin yung issue nung pangangailangan ng Municipality of Pikit for the Municipal Hall through a separate memorandum of agreement between the Municipality of Pikit and the regional government of the Bangsamoro para doon sa use of fract o yung gamit ng munisipyo doon sa facility o yung municipal hall na ngayon ay napunta na sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. Kasi pwede naman po yun na in the meantime na hindi pa natin kailangan yun, pwede pang magamit ng Municipality of Pikit yung structure na nasa atin na. So, hindi naman po problema yon. Ang hindi pwedeng gawin ay i-exempt yung barangay na yon ng Pikit na who voted to join through a plebiscite the regional government. Kasi yun ay political decision ng mga tao. That none of us, not even the chief minister or even the mayor or governor can suspend. So hindi natin pwedeng galawin yon kasi political decision yun ng mga tao under a legitimate process of a plebiscite. But what we can grant to the Municipality of Pikit is the utilization of that facility hanggat kailangan pa nila. Kasi mahirap din naman magpatayo pa ng panibagong municipal hall. So pwede pa rin naman nilang gamitin yon. So hindi ho kailangan na i-built in yon sa executive order. Pwede natin gawin yon under a separate memorandum of agreement between the region and the Municipality of Pikit. That's the advice I gave to the Chief Minister. We're hoping we can move quickly on the organization of the special geographic area para ma-address na natin yung mga concerns na sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. Para ho tumakbo na yung 63 barangays in North Cotabato.
Thank you, sir.
A new municipal hall? Wala pa naman. Wala pa silang na-identify. So, ang immediate na concern nila sa ngayon ay kung gagamitin na kaagad yan at hindi na nila magamit, mahirapan silang mag-move ng opisina ng mayor. So, ang recommendation ko kay Chief Minister, ipagamit na lang muna natin yun sa kanila under a memorandum of agreement.
All right, thank you very much. Last 3 questions. Next question, Alpa Rudso, Voice FM, followed by Sam, Sally, and Sir Noel Punzalan. Please use the microphone, sir.
Dito.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Al Parulcho from Bues FM Cotabato. Sir, nabatid namin na ilan sa mga dating empleyado ay na-retain habang para hindi ma-disrupt yung service delivery ng opisina. So ang tanong ko po, sir, ay kailan ho ba na expected na maumpisahan yung pag-hire sa mga bagong empleyado na siyang maging kaakibat o maging bahagi sa pagpapatakbo ng mga trabaho sa mga opisina sa BARM?
Ganito po. Hindi po sa na-retain yung mga ibang empleyado. Na-extend lang po yung services nila, yung term nila, up to a maximum of March this year. Ito yung mga empleyadong pinaliwanag ko kanina na kakailanganin natin pa para ma-process yung mga importanteng dokumento sa opisina. Kasama rito, yung pagbabayad doon sa separation pay ng mga empleyado natin. So, halimbawa, yung cashier, kakailanganin ko sa ministry ko dahil kung babayaran na namin, na ibaba ng DBM sa amin yung pera, pambayad doon sa separation pay, kakailanganin ko si cashier na pumirma doon sa cheque. So yun, in-extend ho natin yun until March. Yung issue naman nung kailan ba magsisimula yung hiring, nagsimula na ho tayo. In fact, yung publication ng mga position started last December 26 and 27. But because under the civil service law, yung pong publication should be for 10 days for national offices. So, nag-expire yan somewhere January 6, 7. But may additional requirement si Chief Minister sa hiring process na kailangan lahat ng aplikante na ang ina-applyan ay salary grade 10 up, going up, kailangan dumaan sa isang examination. In fact, yung examination na yon, meron na tayong kontrata doon sa isang service provider na nakabase sa Manila. Sila ho yung nag-undertake ng examination. Pero, given na madaming opisina ang nagpapa-exam at madami tayong aplikante, magte-take time yung examination na yan. In the meantime, yung lahat ng nakatapos ng process ng examination like MSSD, pwede na silang mag-proceed doon sa next phase naman, which is the interview part. So, interviewin sila para makita natin yung competency, pati yung iba pang hinahanap natin. Pagkatapos na may interview, yung top 5 doon sa interview part, sila yung isa-submit doon sa appointing authority, napipirma noon. So, give and take, by third week of January, I am sure meron ng mga appointments na may issue doon sa mga aplikante natin na dumaan doon sa proseso na yon at nag-qualify. So, makaka-expect tayo, unti-unti nang ma-fill in yung vacancies by starting third week of January po.
Sir, parwap lang sir. Kasi sir, mula nung nailunsad yung job portal, at napansin natin na napakadami po yung nag-file ng kanilang mga application. So, ibig sabihin, when it comes to trabaho sa BARM, ay matindi pala itong pangangailangan. So, ano ho yung may papayo natin sa mga applicant? Dahil nga makikita natin sa isang trabaho lang ay umabot na minsan 500 plus sa isang trabaho lang. So, ano ho yung may papayo natin sa mga applicants?
Ang pinaka-practical sa ngayon ay yung mga aplikante, tumbukin nila kaagad yung items na na-meet nila yung minimum qualification. Kasi kung hindi nila na-meet yun, doon sila nag-apply, mari-recheck agad yung application nila. So, hindi na sila abot doon sa next stage. Kasi, wala naman tayong, hindi naman maganda na alam mo nang hindi siya magko-qualify, pero ipa-exam mo pa siya. So, kung tiga-Lanao yan siya, pupunta pa siya rito, mamamasahe pa siya, magbabayad pa siya ng hotel, kakain pa siya rito. In the end, hindi naman pala siya qualified doon sa position. So sa amin, hanggat kaya namin, nire-replyan na namin agad yung mga aplikante na based doon sa assessment namin ay hindi kayo kwalipikado sa position na ito. So maghanap kayo ng ibang position na kwalipikado kayo para merong advisory agad. Kasi pangit ho na pinaasa mo sila na pwede sila doon, yung pala ay hindi sila pwede. So, kailangan merong abrupt na advisory doon sa mga applicants para sigurado lang na ang natutumbok na posisyon ay yung qualified sila pag pumasa sila doon sa processes. Pangalawa, hindi ho magkasya yung lahat ng Bangsamoro doon sa available na position sa regional government. Kaya ho, ang advice natin, yung mga tao na alam naman nila na hindi nila kayang pumasok doon sa competitive na process for the appointments, antayin ho nila yung mga programa ng gobyerno natin. Kasi yung pong paggugobyerno ay dalawa yan. Una ay yung makinarya na magpapatakbo sa gobyerno. Yung makinarang yon ay papatakbuhin ng mga bureaucrats na ini-employ natin. Sila yung magpapatakbo ng programa. Pagka hindi magaling yung nilagay natin doon sa loob ng burokrasya, babagal yung takbo ng gobyerno at maaaring hindi ma-deliver yung services. So dalawa ho ang problema natin. Problema na natin na hindi tumatakbo yung gobyerno mo sa loob. Sayang yung binabayad natin. Problema pa natin na hindi nakaka-avail yung mga constituents natin nung services ng gobyerno natin. So doble bukol ho tayo doon. Kaya hanggat maaari, gusto natin ma-employ yung mga siguradong may commitment at may qualification doon sa burokrasya natin para mabilis yung service delivery at maka-avail yung mga ibang tao natin. So, yun ho ang strategy. Now, yung employment generation ay madaming programs na nilatag yung gobyerno natin para dyan. So, nandoon yung pagtatrain sa mga tao para maka-acquire sila ng panibagong skills na maaaring magamit nila para sila ay magkaroon ng self-employment. Pagka medyo lumaki yung negosyo nila, makadagdag sila ng empleyado ng iba. Meron din naman tayong mga programa na magsusupport doon sa agriculture sector natin. Meron din tayong programa na magki-kickstart nung ibang businesses because of the infrastructure development na pinapasok natin. So halimbawa, nagpondo tayo ng 4 billion doon sa infrastructure. Ito lang yung Bangsamoro Fund. But meron pa tayong existing na 10 billion na na-inherit natin noong 2019. So meron kang total under the Ministry of Public Works na 14 billion. Yung mga programang yun, halimbawa, so nagpatayo tayo ng kalsada, kakailanganin mo ng mga trabahante, kailangan mo ng contractor, kailangan mo ng engineer, kailangan mo nung supplier mo ng aggregates. So yung mga magpapatayo ng negosyo na tigagawa nung tiga-ipon ng aggregates na yon, yung mga maglilinis nung lalagyan natin ng kalsada. So ito ho yung ibang employment opportunity na ma-generate ng mga programa natin. So hindi lang ho yung job vacancies in the region ang kailangan tutukan ng mga kababayan natin. Kailangan tingnan nila yung mas malawak na pagtingin doon sa oportunidad sa pagtatrabaho, liban doon sa available jobs na kayang ibigay ng gobyerno natin. Kasi limited lang ho yan. Hindi natin pwedeng punuin ng empleyado yung regional offices natin nang wala naman tinatrabaho. Kasi mag-i-increase ang electricity cost mo noon. Kasi halimbawa, ganitong aircon, medyo madami tayong nag-uopisina rito, may increase yung consumption yan. Iihi yan sa CR. So magpa-flush ng madami. So madami rin tubig na mamayaran natin. Ha? So madaming cost yung pag-maintain ng bureaucracy. So kailangan maging strategic tayo doon sa investments natin.
Alright, thank you very much, sir. Next question from Sam Sally, followed by Noel Punzalan, and my bonus, Ana Costa, and last na po si sir. May sasabihin daw po.
Morning, magandang tanghali. Kailan, sir, may official date na ba kung kailan ang official turnover ng Cotabato City sa BARM?
Yung pong date ay pinag-uusapan pa. But what I can tell you is noong December 16, nagkaroon ng first meeting yung Intergovernmental Fiscal Policy Board sa Davao. Ang chair ng national government na IGRB ay si Secretary Dominguez ng Secretary ng Finance. Ang chair naman sa atin ay si Minister Iqbal ng Ministry of Basic, Higher, and Technical Education. Doon sa meeting na yon, isa sa mga agenda na tinake up ay yung turnover ng Cotabato City and other offices located in the territory now part of the Bangsamoro government. So, halimbawa ng opisina na yung power and function ay na-transfer na sa atin, yung public works and highways. So, meron kang engineering district na nasa Cotabato City, which caters to the public works work in the city of Cotabato. Napag-usapan niya na mata-turnover din. Doon sa meeting na yon, ang commitment ng national government ay they will turn over immediately Cotabato City. Ang point person na tinask ni Secretary Dominguez sa trabaho na yon ay si Secretary Galvez so that Secretary Galvez can liaise immediately with Secretary Anyo para doon sa official turnover. Kasi yung LGUs are under either the DILG or the MILG, depending doon sa kung saan ka. Yun ho ay kinumit na nila na ito turnover nila kaagad. In the signing ceremony of the General Appropriations Act in Malacanang, where the Chief Minister and the Minister of Finance, now Public Works, were invited, nandun din si Secretary Anyo. In the sideline meeting between the Chief Minister at saka si Secretary Anyo, nag-commit ulit si Secretary Anyo to immediately turn over Cotabato City and the offices here sa BARM. So, may commitment. Yung date lang ang hindi pa na-fix kasi magjo-joint meeting pa kami with the national counterpart para ma-fix yung ceremony, date, sino mga i-invite, papaano yung turnover ng mga iba pang opisina. In addition to that, nagkaroon din ng turnover yung Grand Mosque, yung Sultan Bulkiah Mosque. Sa DPWH, papunta naman sa Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Ang trigger nung transfer na to, nung Bulkiah Mosque, ay in a meeting between us, myself and Minister Guerra with Secretary of Finance in Manila last year, sinabi sa amin ni Secretary of Finance, gusto niyang i-invite ulit si Sultan Bulkiah na pumunta rito. And that he asked me during that meeting, kumusta ba yung estado nung mosque na nandun sa Cotabato City. So in-explain ko sa kanya yung general na itsura at challenges for the Grand Mosque. So sabi ni Secretary of Finance sa amin, pwede bang i-turn over na lang sa inyo yan para maayos nyo yung Grand Mosque? Before we actually invite Sultan Bulkiah, who's a very good friend of the Secretary. So sabi ko sa kanya, sir, actually, pwede yon para maayos natin kaagad, i-turn over nyo na sa amin. So sabi niya, kaya nga, gusto ko ma-turn over kaagad sa inyo. And then, can you commit to rehabilitating the mosque para mabalik doon sa original na ganda ng mosque? Sabi niya sa akin. Sabi namin ni Minister Ed, pwede naming i-facilitate kaagad yun. Once it is turned over to us, then we can provide the funding for that and undertake the repair immediately so you can invite the Sultan in the ceremony for relaunching the mosque after we rehabilitate it. So yun ang naging trigger ng discussion. When I attended the high-level meeting between the government of the Philippines and the government of Japan in Odawara, in Tokyo sa Japan, last year, binring up ulit sa akin ni Secretary Dominguez. In that delegation, nandun si DBM, Secretary of Finance, Secretary ng DOTC, Secretary Villar ng DPWH. I'm the lone representative of the regional government in that meeting. Binring up niya ulit sa akin yung issue ng Grand Mosque. Sabi ko, sir, inaantay lang namin ni Undersecretary Sadain yung schedule na makumpleto nila, yung lahat ng documents sa kanila para mabigay nila sa amin. So we will have a basis for accepting and then undertaking the renovation. So doon mismo sa meeting, tinawag niya si Undersecretary Sadain. Sabi niya, Yusek, i-turn over mo na agad sa kanila yung Grand Mosque para mapabilis natin yung rehab niyan. So nag-commit si Secretary Sadain. Tinawagan ko pagbalik namin rito. Sabi ni Secretary, let's turn it over. Pumunta na lang kayo sa Manila. Kasi ako ang acting secretary ngayon. On leave si Secretary Villar. But I have the clearance from the good secretary na i-turn over sa inyo para ma-comply natin yung request ni Secretary Dominguez. So yun po yung nangyari noon. In that meeting, in the turnover ceremony, kinomit na rin ni Undersecretary Sadain yung transfer naman ng Engineering District Office ng DPWH sa Cotabato City papunta sa MARM. So ini-schedule na lang din natin yung turnover na yan. There would be other offices of the national government in Cotabato City and potentially in the 63 barangays in North Cotabato, which will also be turned over to the regional government very, very soon. So I think yung ceremonies na lang ang natitira so we can formalize the turnover. One, of Cotabato City. Second, other offices of the national government whose function has been transferred to the regional government. Under the organic law, and this is important to recall, ang national government is given 3 months upon the organization of the BANGSAMORO government to transfer and turn over the offices. We are now over 3 months. So it is really due na ma-turn over na yan. And then sa Cotabato City, meron din mga programs na naka-allocate na under the 2020 budget of the region that will go to Cotabato City. So kailangan na natin talagang ma-turn over para masimulan na yung mga programang yon.
Sa turnover ng Cotabato City, sir, at saka dun sa ibang place and offices, ano bang magiging proseso? DILG to DILG or DILG to the LGU? Paano po ba? Or the regional office? Or paano po?
In reality, mas simpler yung turnover ng Cotabato City. Mas complex yung 63 barangays. Kasi ang trigger lang naman yan ay i-turn over ng Department of the Interior and Local Government yung opisina nila sa Cotabato City sa amin. If I appoint someone in Cotabato City as the local government operations officer for that, meaning the LGOO assigned to Cotabato City will now supervise the operation of the local government units in Cotabato City, including reportorial system. Sa amin na mapupunta yung reports na yon.
Alright. Maraming salamat po. Next question from Sir Noel Punsalan.
Sir, magandang hapon. Ask ko lang, sir, kung if I am an applicant and I am multi-talented, could, could I apply at various offices at the same time?
Yes, and in fact, that is what is happening. So, may mga aplikante na yung qualifications nila fits several positions in one ministry. But more than that, there are also applicants whose qualification fits other positions in other ministries. So, mas madami silang pwedeng applyan. Okay naman po yun. Ang isang challenge lang na nakikita natin, pag nagsabay-sabay yung exam at saka yung interview, mabibitawan mo yung ibang applications mo. So, in the end, kailangan i-prioritize mo pa rin kung ikaw ang aplikante. Saan ba talaga gusto mo na opisina at item?
Second question, sir. Once I'm in, could I be pirated by other offices due to my talent?
In fact, nagsisimula na yung piratahan. Kasi lahat ng ministries interested in getting the most talented and the most committed workers. So, halimbawa sa akin, may mga ministries na nagko-complain na yung mga empleyado nila, hindi lang nag-apply. Sumama pa dun sa training ko for local government operations officer. Nandun sila sa training namin, nag-undergo sila, maski napahirapan dahil ang passion nila ay yung klaseng work na ino-offer namin. Yes, you can transfer. So even if I appoint you, and next time around, merong opening job doon sa kabilang ministry, you can apply and then you can transfer pagka in-appoint ka. Ha? So yun naman po talaga. Open ito sa ano. So ang sistema rito, you should keep your employees happy. Kasi kung hindi, lilipat yan sa mga ibang opisina. So the best offer in the different ministries would ensure na you keep the best in your ministries.
All right, last two. Ana Costa, please go ahead.
Grabe talaga. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Ana Costa, Mindanao Expose. Sir, my concern is just recently, there was a series of shooting incident happened in Barm area. And most of the victims are politicians. Some are barangay chairman, vice mayor, municipal treasurer. And then, last week lang po is yung empleyado ng COA. As a MILG minister, have you coordinate na ba po sa mga ating PNP personnel to look into these problems, then kung ano po ang motibo ng shooting?
Sige. Sige. Medyo mahirap yung question ni Ana. Ma'am, ganito ang reality. Tama po yun na may mga shooting incidents involving public officials, specifically elected officials in the province of Maguindanao. But even outside of Maguindanao, meron din mga shooting incidents. But in North Cotabato, for instance, mga barangay officials naman ito, ang kadamihan na biktima. The latest being yung provincial auditor ng Commission on Audit for the Province of Maguindanao. So let's just be very clear. Yung pong si Auditor Guerrilla, Bagondang Adam, is not an auditor of any of the ministries or offices in the regional government. So misleading po yung ibang headline na sasabihin na auditor of the autonomous region. No. She is an auditor of the province of Maguindanao. Yes, team leader siya, but she is part of the employees of the COA region na nandito. Kasama yung mga auditor na naka-assign sa mga munisipyo at mga barangay or province in the case of Auditor Guerrilla. So, yung pong shooting incident sa kanya, under investigation, may mga speculations na work-related, we don't know. Wala pa. Kailangan antayin natin yung official na investigation. Hindi rin tama yung in one of the report na sinasabi na ang probable na cause nung shooting incident with respect to the late auditor Bagundang ay dahil sa isang disallowance on a 2011 on a transaction which was disallowed by COA under her leadership in 2011, more specifically Office of the Regional Governor. In 2011, hindi ho si Auditor Bagundang ang auditor ng regional government. It was Danny Calib who was the auditor in 2011. Hindi ho si Guerrilla. So hindi rin tama yung sinasabi doon sa report na yun. Wala din transaction in 2011 that pertains to construction supplies in the amount of around 50 million. Wala din ho yun. So I've spoken to some insiders in the different offices that handles financial transactions just to make sure na tama yung report. So, hindi ho tama yun. So, hindi rin tama yung nakalagay doon sa report. So, we will really need to wait doon sa result ng investigation para walang speculation. But one thing is clear, there are shooting incidents that appears to be connected with some political events in the province of Maguindanao. So, there's no denying about that. That's a fact. What we need to be conscious of is to urge the investigators to narrow down the specific connection between the shooting incident and the events that transpired in the province of Maguindanao. Kasi mahirap naman na nadadamay yung mga iba dahil sa speculations. So wag ho natin gawin yon. So ang pakiusap namin, I have spoken to the regional director of the PNP, General Marcos. I have also spoken to General Carion of the 6th Infantry Division about concerns doon sa mga shooting incidents na ito. Hindi pa naman siya at a level na nakakatakot na. But just the same, every incident that results into death should be treated as a serious issue. Kasi yung buhay ho, walang kapalit yan. So none of us can recreate life and therefore we should truly value life. Single incident or X number of incidents, it's the same. It's still life being taken. And therefore, we should focus on investigation and ensure that this one is not repeated and that those who are truly responsible for this murder should be brought before the bars of justice. So, kailangan natin masiguro yun. Kasi kung hindi, magiging kalakaran na yung pagpatay sa mga tao. Hindi ho maganda yun. So, kahapon in the cabinet meeting, these incidents were raised and the Chief Minister directed the Ministry of the ISS, yung Intelligence Security Services of the Office of the Chief Minister, as well as the Ministry of Public Order and Safety to begin undertaking security measures to ensure the safety of people inside the compound and our employees even outside. So, magkakaroon ng mga pagbabago doon sa security setup inside the compound. May mga measures na i-adapt. We hope na yung mga incidents of this nature really can be stopped and that people realize that this is a society which is supposed to care for life. Hindi ho ito pwede na mag-degenerate tayo doon sa situation na konting disagreement nagkakaroon ng patayan. So there would always be disagreements among us, but we should all agree that we should value life and that we will not resort to violence.
Alright, maraming salamat po. Last question from Sir Haj Ali Sedik.
Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I think no need to introduce myself anymore because I have already introduced myself in our first opening ni Dr. Salam. Ang sa akin na concern kasi nung narinig ko doon sa opisina ni Dr. Salam na papunta dito si attorney, then I immediately decided myself because I have very important mission in the town proper. Pero nang marinig ko na nandito siya, sabi ko, this is now the time that I will inform again our beloved Minister, Attorney Naguib Sinarimbo. Ang aking concern, being the Chief Administrative Officer of the region for more than 40 years, itong mga applicant natin ngayon, napakarami ang applicant natin na first na problema nila yung mga educational qualification nila. Second na problema nila, eligibility. During that time, ayaw ko kung bata na si Attorney Sinarimbo during that time, meron tayong eligibility na cultural community employee at saka cultural community officer. Yung cultural community employee, that is equivalent to subgroup. And the last na appointment na process ko, nung hindi pa na-transfer ang regional office sa Marbel, 1980, meron pa akong na-process na clerk 1, ang eligibility ni CCE. So, I wonder, baka hindi pa siguro ito naalis na eligibility, being the cultural community. Kaya I would like to strongly suggest to our Honorable Minister, Attorney Sinarimbo, pwede rin niya ako utosan personally na i-follow up ko sa civil service yung CCE at saka CCO. Kasi hindi yan examination. That is intended for the cultural community people in Bangsamoro. Second, I would like to follow up it again. Yung, kasi karamihan sa atin ngayon, sabi na hindi na ako makatrabaho sa munisipyo na ito kasi puno na ang tao. So I would like to strongly suggest to our Honorable Minister na mag-create tayo ng munisipyo coming from the barangays of the municipalities. Masasabing Bangsamoro Municipality. Kasi marami tayong municipality ngayon na napakaraming barangay. So, gagawin natin kasi I am one of the member of sa DepEd, nag-create na mga division offices at saka mga district. So, mga requirement, alam ko anong gagawin. So, itong dalawa na ito na suggestion ko, sana matulungan tayo ni Attorney, Commissioner. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Let me just report to you na yung issue ng recruitment, eligibility, educational qualification was a major issue discussed in the cabinet meeting kahapon. So, in-explore ito, yung lahat ng areas nito, dahil merong legitimate concern nga yung mga ibang kasamahan natin na una, hindi magko-qualify doon sa educational requirement. Pangalawa ay hindi magko-qualify dahil doon sa eligibility requirement ng mga positions. Ang malinaw ay, una, under the organic law, yung appointments to government positions in the Bangsamoro is still based on merit and fitness. So, yung pa din ang parameters. And that we are given the authority to enact a civil service code for the Bangsamoro, but that we cannot go below the national standard. So yun yung parameters. Now, ano yung mga challenges na na-encounter natin? So halimbawa, yung eligibility, 3 levels. So yung sub-professional, professional, and yung career executive, yung CESO. For specific positions under the civil service law, may mga positions talaga na hindi ka ma-appoint kung wala kang appropriate na eligibility. So isang in-explore doon sa mga nagda-draft naman ng Civil Service Code ng Bangsamoro ay yung Rasul Bill. So you remember yung Rasul Bill, mga government employees na nandyan na for a period of 7 years, temporary yung appointment nila. They cannot be appointed, they cannot convert their appointment into permanent dahil wala silang eligibility. So under the Rasul Bill, automatic na yung 7-year service is converted into an eligibility and therefore you become permanent. Unfortunately, yung Rasul Bill ay nag-expire na. So yung applicability niya. So hindi na natin magagamit yon. Ang pangalawang challenge natin ay in reality, mahirap na yung probationary or temporary appointment. Yung temporary appointment. Dahil ang nagre-resort lang yung opisina sa temporary appointment kung yung item na pinublish natin, walang aplikante na pumasa doon sa qualification standard. So, na-meet nila. So, kung walang nakamit, so, halimbawa, ang item natin ay Local Government Operations Officer 2. 10 tayo. Lahat tayo ay hindi pasado doon sa minimum QS nung position na yon. Any one of us can be appointed as an LGOO2 on a temporary basis, for which you would be allowed to comply with the eligibility requirement. Nagagawa lang yon dahil wala pang eligible, wala pang ibang aplikante na eligible. Kung meron yan, hindi pwede yon. So given yung number of applicants who may possess all the qualifications required for the position, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-issue ng temporary appointment kasi ipoprotest nila yon sa civil service. So, ang direction pa rin really is to, one, comply with the minimum qualification standards set by the Civil Service Commission dahil hindi natin pwedeng i-disregard yun. Otherwise, magkakaroon ng false hope yung mga tao na in the end, pag sinubmit mo sa civil service for attestation, madi-disallow pa rin yung appointment niya. So ayaw mangyari ni Chief Minister na mapunta tayo doon. May isang very important and very peculiar na issue na tinake up kahapon. Ito yung issue nung, halimbawa, Arabic teachers in the different schools in the Bangsamoro. So, ang challenge natin dyan ay yung teacher item under the civil service law, merong minimum qualification yan. Kasama na dyan yung LET. So, kadamihan naman sa mga Arabic teachers natin, hindi makaka-take nung LET kasi Arabic nga eh. Wala pang exam na Arabic for LET. So, hindi sila nagiging permanent. So, ang recommendation ko kahapon doon sa cabinet ay two things. One, doon sa education code natin, maglagay na tayo ng two things na importante. One is equivalency and accreditation system for graduates of universities outside. Halimbawa, Al-Azhar University in Cairo, Egypt, the oldest university in the world. Pag nakatapos ka doon, there has to be a system put in place for the Bangsamoro government to accredit you. Yung equivalency. Kung nakatapos ka doon ng bachelor's degree for Arabic literature, that should have a corresponding accreditation dito sa atin. Nag-graduate ka ng bachelor's degree in Al-Azhar University because it's a very prestigious university in the world. Once that happens, now, you can teach Arabic in the Bangsamoro. But the description for your position should not be for teacher 1. Kasi kung hindi, pipilitin ka na naman na pumasa sa LET. Dapat merong ibang description yung position mo for which we can provide the minimum qualification. And then submit that to the Civil Service Commission. Include that in the Civil Service Code of the Bangsamoro. If that happens, now we can prescribe the qualification without necessarily resorting to the LET examination. So, yun, magiging permanent yung mga Arabic teachers natin. So, we just need to, one, get the legislation right, do the necessary process, including yung submission sa civil service ng new set uh, um, of of items, yung position description and the necessary qualification for it para tumakbo yung mga yon. So I think we are in a in the process of going towards that, so that we can resolve many of the challenges confronted by many of our people who've been sent to be educated outside of the country for very, very specific skills na wala sa atin, pero kailangan natin. So, yun ho ang pwedeng gawin natin. Doon sa eligibility requirement, kailangan ho talaga mag-comply tayo sa minimum requirement. Otherwise, madi-disallow yung appointments na i-issue natin. Ang alam ko na basis for the cultural community equivalency for eligibility was a period when kadamihan sa atin ay hindi pa eligible. So, ibig sabihin, nagka-catch up pa lang tayo at this time where you have lawyers, accountants, doctors, teachers, all and every profession, meron ka ng graduate na qualified. I think we should attract the best. So rather than bring down the standards and therefore the quality of services that we do, let us instead help our people to get to the standard. So I am happy to see, for instance, the Ministry of Basic, Higher, and Technical Education conducting yung libre na review doon sa LET. These are really laudable undertakings where we facilitate the capacity and the improvement of the competencies of our people so that we can comply with national standards. Kung kaya nga natin lagpasan yung national standard, we should do that. So that my position and my opinion is that the best people should be the people who should be in government, because this is the biggest institution that delivers services to our people. Kung yung kumpanya nga ng smart na ang concern lang natin, mag-text-text lang naghahanap ng best na empleyado, bakit yung gobyerno natin na nagdi-deliver ng mas malaking serbisyo sa mga tao natin ay yung hindi magagaling? Kailangan yung institution natin na primarily delivering the best services to our people should really be the best people. So, yun ang kailangan ho nating i-maintain. So, let us continue to help our people get to the top by providing the necessary assistance so that they can qualify. So, yun po ang panawagan namin. Doon sa new municipalities proposal, our idea is that we should meet the minimum standards under the local government code for municipalities to be created, because we don't want a situation where we create institutions like municipalities that will not be sustainable. Halimbawa, nag-create lang tayo ng munisipyo, wala namang IRA kasi hindi siya nag-qualify, magiging burden lang sa atin yon. So instead of the institution serving our people, it becomes a burden for our people. So ang kailangan natin, mga munisipyo na nag-qualify, merong IRA, merong mga taong magaling mag-deliver ng services. Otherwise, we just add up a layer of the bureaucracy that creates problems for us instead of facilitating resolution of the problems for our people. So yun ho ang recommendation namin. And that includes the proposal for the 63 barangays in North Cotabato. We've outlined the process for doing it.
Alright, maraming salamat po si Attorney Naguib Sinarimbo, the Minister of the Ministry of Interior and Local Government, and at the same time, the spokesperson of the BANGSAMORO government. And ayun, once again, maraming salamat po. That ends our Kapihan sa BANGSAMORO for this week. Yes, meron po tayong lunch. Yes, of course. And in behalf of our Bureau Director, Director Noradin Salam, this has been Al-Bashir Saiden from the Bureau of Public Information. See you again next week. Maraming salamat po.